Halloween. My name is Danielle. I am activearies on Instagram and here on YouTube. And 13 Nights of Halloween is where I post a video every night for 13 nights in a row leading up to Halloween. Hopefully they're smoother than that one was. Today's video is going to be a bulk diaries. I just kind of wanted to talk about how the end of my cut went, since that was really the last time we had like a sit-down conversation, and then how I've kind of like transitioned into bulking and how all of that went, just because it definitely didn't go according to plan. So with that being said, I am sitting in the gym parking lot. I just took a heaping dry scoop of woke AF, and if you know, you know. So I have about 10 minutes until I gotta go inside, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. So for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and start at the beginning. I started cutting as my first real cut. I would say real because I stuck to it. I did not cheat. I was damn near perfect the entire time. So with that being said, I started in, I wanna say mid-October of last year. Typically cuts should last for like a couple of months at most, you know, like it's not, I wasn't competing for a show, I didn't have like a timeline or anything to go on, like that should not have gone on as long as it did. So I cut because I had a goal in mind, and I thought that I had enough of a foundation to kind of have a successful cut in seeing like, you know, my effort and like what I looked like, and really see like the muscle that I put on. And I felt like I really didn't have a different choice, because I didn't want to bulk or really do any type of maintaining or anything like that, because I couldn't necessarily maintain in a healthy way, only because, I guess not healthy is the wrong way to put it. I couldn't maintain in a progressive way because I had just injured my knee in August, and at this point, mid-October, I was feeling pretty defeated, and I was like, I don't really know how to progress in the gym. Let me try my first cut. I really tried to make the most out of a bad situation, and then I didn't stop cutting until the second week of March. October, November, December, January, February, March. That is 6 months of cutting. And when I tell you every single, it is like either every week or bi-weekly, I would drop 100 to 200 calories. I'm not gonna tell you the calories I ate because it was not good and not okay, but towards the last month I stopped dropping calories because it just was so unreasonable for me to be eating that amount of calories just to lose weight. I had an idea of what I wanted to look like. I never felt like I got there. I had an idea of like the weight that I wanted to get to, never got there. I swear to you, it felt like my body just was not losing weight anymore. I was having awful digestion. I completely ruined my metabolism. I just kind of went on this forever cut, to be honest, and it was horrible for my mental health. I was crying like every other day because I just felt so stuck, and it was because I plateaued. Walking felt like a chore. Like everything about the entire experience up to that point had been, I had some type of momentum going, but I was also grieving the fact that I couldn't use my knee. I didn't have full range of motion. My knee would swell just from like dry. I gaslit myself a lot, saying that like injuries weren't a big deal, and it was really funny because up to that point I had known other people that were like struggling with injuries, and I was always just like, yeah, but you can do so many other things, like it's okay, like trying to be really optimistic as who I am as a person, just be really positive and like encouraging. And I never realized how debilitating an injury can be. I could not use half of my body, and it was just, when you go into somewhere and you feel like you want to give 110% and you can't even give 100, it was just I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Back to the cutting story. So I ended up cutting until I just kind of had a breaking point. I had gotten to the point where the last month of my cut, I was going to the gym twice a day, 4 days a week, and then every day. So 7 days a week I was at the gym, 4 days a week I was lifting, and everything felt heavy and hard. And I was like, again, crying all the time because I wanted things that I never even wanted when I could eat whatever I wanted. Like to this day, like I don't think I've had, like, I kid you not, I would have killed someone for a brownie. I would have killed someone for it. When I had finally gotten to the very end, I was like, you know what, like I'm done. I don't see a difference. I don't see a change, and which is kind of hilarious to me. Not really hilarious, actually. It's super sad because I looked like this and I didn't think that I had lost any weight or that I looked small or anything. And I just like, I really, really ripped myself apart. Something from that experience that I think kind of really brought my eating habits to the forefront of my attention was that I definitely struggle with a binge eating disorder. It's actually really embarrassing for me. I find myself, it doesn't feel emotional, it feels uncontrollable. It feels like I do not have an option of whether or not I have to do this or I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it, and that's how it's going to be. And then also there gets to points where I get into like hyperfixations where I'm like, if I don't get to eat this in excess, my life is going to end. And that sounds dramatic. Like saying it back, I can laugh at it and be like, oh, haha, like how dramatic. But it feels like that. Like it feels like my life is going to end. And like that's obviously very unhealthy, and I have a difficult time with that. But I think I just didn't recognize that because I had been cutting for 6 months. Right after my cut, it was my birthday and my boyfriend's birthday, and they're 5 days apart. So we ended up, you know, celebrating our birthdays. Well, about 3 weeks in, he like very kindly was like, hey Danny, like I just feel like we've been binge eating a lot. And I was like, that's so dramatic. And it really made me mad. I got defensive because not because I felt like I was binge eating, because I felt like I was finally having food freedom. And I was like seeing all these things online about having food freedom and it's great to eat whatever, and like being restrictive is bad. And like I had been restricted for 6 months, and so obviously like this was my time to shine, and I was being really good and healthy and like mentally thriving. And it's kind of hilarious because like nobody talks about the fact that there's a line and you can cross it. And I didn't just cross it, I like flew over that line, and I just, everything I ate, I needed it in excess. And so I binge ate for, I would honestly argue, about a month and a half. And then I went to go actually try on some jeans that I had purchased right at the end of my cut, which I knew were gonna be a little tight. I couldn't even fit them over my hips. I had gained 15 pounds in a month and a half, which I was not proud of. I actually had a full-blown panic attack trying to get those jeans on, because again, I knew they probably weren't gonna fit, but I didn't expect to not be able to get them even like up my thigh. That was a really, really low point for me. My healthy self was saying like, you're okay, you know, you made a mistake, it's okay, we can come back from this, don't worry about it. And then my unhealthy self was saying like, what have you done? And it was like all of a sudden I was hyper aware of everything I actively had participated in the last month and a half. I ended up deciding from there just the healthy way to approach everything was to really focus on rehabbing my knee and go into a bulk, because I knew from my first cut that I was very unhappy with my cut, because when I cut down, I was just skinny. And I didn't know I was skinny at the time, like I just said, but I just didn't feel like I had any muscle. And I was frustrated with my cut because I was like, why is my body not showing muscle? And it's just because I didn't have a strong foundation. I didn't have a growth season. I didn't really focus on, you know, improving my weight. But again, it was just out of necessity, it felt like, because of my injury. So I was like, you know what? You're gonna grow, and you've put on this weight. Let's put it to good use. Let's really just focus on falling in love with the gym again. I'm going to bulk until the end of the year, and then a week into January, probably January 2nd if I'm being honest, I'm going to start cutting again, which I'm really excited about. I'm only gonna do it for 3 months this time. I'm not gonna be crazy, and honestly 3 months might be too long. We'll just see how I'm gonna go. I really want to go ham on this, and obviously it depends on what my doctor says in January about my knee and blah blah blah, but I'm just hoping to really be able to give it my all next year and kind of just get back on the swing of things, because I do feel like I'm at a loss. I don't feel like I'm able to, you know, look my best, perform my best, give my best when I'm not physically at my best. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video and just had an insight into how I'm processing you know, the forever cut and now my bulk diaries. So I'm gonna go work out. I am about to get itchy. I'm feeling very like fidgety if you haven't seen me play with my hands and like face more. So yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.